Hello, my name is Brianna Euler, and I'll be talking to you about genetically modified organisms and my proposal, the GMO Compromise Project. So what are GMOs exactly? A lot of people really don't have an idea of what GMOs are or have a specific definition in their mind. So when humans first started producing crops, when they stopped hunting and settled down in one place and grew crops, uh, they did this thing called selective breeding, and that's just simply choosing the best genetics for next year's crop. Or if you're talking about livestock, choosing which animals are the best and have the best yield, and then keeping those back for the next year. And now what scientists are doing now is something called gene transfer, and that just means that going into a specific crop, choosing which gene you want to keep, you put it into a new crop, and then you raise that crop that has the new strain in it, and that's how you get pesticide resistance and herbicide resistance and those sort of things. Here's just a couple of common GMOs. So corn and soybeans are really common. They have high yield, high nutritional value, high palatability, so it's a major ingredient in cattle diets. And so one of the concerns is what happens to cattle when they're fed GMO crops, and how does that affect humans as they consume beef. So we'll go ahead and talk about some concerns. So the biggest adversary for GMOs in general is the non-GMO project. We can go ahead and look at some of the quotes that I took off of their website directly. Everyone has a right to know what is in their food choice and deserves access to non-GMO choices. Totally agree. We can't make someone choose GMO products. Everyone deserves an informed choice about whether or not to consume genetically modified organisms. That's also true. We'll go ahead and talk about that, how we're going to combat that in the proposal. And then preserving and building the non-GMO supply chains is a critical step of transitioning toward a safe, healthy food supply for future generations. You can't really say that one thing or another is healthy or safe unless you back it with real research. And so that's another thing that we're going to do when it comes to this proposal. We'll go ahead and go more in depth with their concerns. So crossbreeding with wild populations, once you create a new strain and it cross-pollinates, and what do you have, really? You could have mutations. I mean, there's a whole lot that are scientific. When you create a new strain, the old variety is kind of forgotten about, and the old variety's benefits kind of go away. With new strains, we kind of don't really know what type of allergic reactions and toxicity can happen with people that already have allergies. So those are just some concerns. We'll go into more concerns geared towards the non-GMO project. Like we said before, they're really concerned that there's no choice if you don't really know which projects or what's GMO and what's not. So we'll talk about how to combat that issue in our proposal. Also, we don't know what kind of health problems there'll be long term, and then the non-GMO project talks about research validity, meaning that companies that produce GMO products also pay for the research and the research to be published, so they feel like it would be more biased. We'll just go ahead and talk about the need for GMOs. So, like I said before, the population is increasing rapidly, way faster than we can keep up with it. That being said, farmers are having a hard time keeping up with it and also making a living. Like agriculture products, machinery, that kind of thing is super, super expensive, and if they don't make enough to support their way of life, then it's hard for them to keep producing. Also, we could combat disease with GMOs. There's lots of different kinds of viruses and bacteria and stuff that we can combat if we have GMOs, but we'll go ahead and talk about the benefits. You can increase the plant resistance when you create a new strain. Right now they have drought resistance, herbicide resistance, and pesticide resistance. So herbicide resistance lets the farmer spray the whole field, kill all the weeds. There's more nutrition and water available for the current crop, meaning bigger yield, more income, better for the consumer overall. Drought resistance, you can have more crops in places that they weren't originally able to grow crops in. Bigger yields, decrease world hunger, decrease food costs, all kind of go together. We can also increase the nutrition with GMOs, increase shelf life, and ease of shipping. And then, like I said before, disease was a concern. New GMOs have been produced to put in a fruit, and once you eat that fruit, you are vaccinated essentially. So it's just a new form of immunization instead of giving your child a shot. So my proposal is the GMO Compromise Project will just kind of provide a middle ground to both sides of this issue. We would label the products, we would provide objective research results, and educate the public as to what GMOs are exactly. So this is going to be kind of a short process. We'd already have scientists lined up and laboratories lined up to be hired. So for the first phase, we'd start testing. We publish that results. We'd start educating the public on what the results actually mean. And this would be a unbiased company and unbiased scientists to publish these results. And then later we would hire some packaging and processing companies to label GMO products once we kind of establish what is GMO, what isn't, as far as crops and things go. So like I said before, our team will consist of unprejudiced scientists to kind of give the non-GMO project a little give me per se. We'd have 4 full-time. Once research was published, we'd have a couple probably educating, going to seminars, that kind of thing, and they would be in 2 different laboratories. The objectives of this project are to thoroughly test the GMO projects by unbiased scientists. They can give unbiased results and lead toward better decision making on everyone's part. We kind of give the non-GMO project a freebie and label everything, and then educate the public as to what GMOs are exactly. Estimated expensive, this is for employee salaries for the 4 scientists, rent for 2 years, supplies such as petri dishes, pipettes, that kind of thing, and utilities for the laboratories. So just to kind of recap, the GMO Compromise Project gives a solution for the GMO debate. We'll kind of be the middle ground. We would label the products, give more unbiased results, and help the public know what is actually a GMO and what is not, and what the concerns and benefits are for those. But Thank you, everyone, and have a good day.